Good morning, everybody, and happy Thursday. I will call this meeting to order at 9:01 a.m. We'll proceed with roll call with our secretary, Ms. Marisa Camperano.
Good morning. I'm going to now start with roll call. Claudia Dole Morrison. Oh, and if you're here, please indicate present in the chat. Armando Garza, Tammy Munoz, Laura Ramos, Veronica Aurelial, Noelyn Llanos, Nicole English, Rolando Segovia, Karina Herrera, David Guerra, Jasmine Zuniga, Ashley Mercado, Maribel Mata, Orlando Castañeda, Juan Santos Flores, Alicia Puentes, Mónica Granado, Cordelia Raza, Irene Cárdenas, Josh Garza, Kelly Quinn, Melba Cantu, Rogelio Chanes, Karen Dorado, Melanie Garza, Caitlin Brissett, Yadira Mejia, Cristina de Leon, Javier Salinas, and Ricardo Lopez. Madam President, quorum has been established.
Thank you, Madam Secretary. First off, welcome everyone. We have a great day today to start off. We're almost there for the whole week to end, but we do have to move on to our next new business, and that'll be the approval of meeting minutes for July 2022. Is there a motion?
I move to table the minutes for July 2022.
Is there a second?
I second.
That's for Senator Karen Dorado. All those in favor in tabling the minute. All opposed? Any abstentions? Motion passes. All right. Moving on to our committee reports, we have our Communications Committee, currently chairing by Ms. Tammy Munoz and co-chair Ms. Melanie Garza.
Good morning, everyone. I hope you all are having a great day. Communication Committee, say hi. We really wanted to just remind you all that Welcome Week is coming, and Staff Senate will be volunteering and holding a social media campaign. So keep an eye out for details for that. We are finalizing them at the moment. Over the past month, we've also been, we also collaborated with the CFSI team, and we had our awesome staff senators participate, David Guerra, along with some advisors, and they helped create an awesome cuisine. So thank y'all for that, and hopefully more events coming. And then lastly, for our Staff Senate Spotlight, we had Staff Senator Nicole English. So woohoo, thank you for being an amazing staff senator, and we hope to highlight other staff senators throughout our social media throughout the month. So thank you.
What was it?
All right. Thank you, Ms. Melanie Garza. Next up, we have the Elections Constitution Committee. As of right now, we don't have any updates, so we will now move on to the Feedback Committee, chairing Ms. Jasmine Zuniga and co-chair Marisa Camperano.
Sorry, hi, my name is Jasmine. I'm with the Feedback Committee, and we also don't have any updates on the information that we have on the submissions.
All right, thank you. Moving on to Staff Success Committee. Currently chair Ms. Maribel Mata and co-chair Veronica Villarreal.
Thank you, Madam President. Good morning, everybody. My name is Maribel Mata. I'm the chair for the Staff Success Committee with my co-chair Veronica Villarreal and all of our members. So good morning on behalf of our committee. Just a quick update. We did wrap up Meet Your Staff Senators. So thank you for those of you that came out to meet us. We definitely heard your concerns. You know, we brought them back to us and have delivered them. So thank you for coming out. We also had the expressive arts event. So for those of you that showed up, we certainly hope that you enjoyed it, and we look forward to having more activities for you. As of right now, we're gearing up for UTRGV Day and the fall semester as well. So that's all we have for you this morning. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Chair. And up next, we have now presenting our guest speakers. Our very first speaker is going to be Dr. Lance Snell, our Dean for the College of Robert C. Vacker College of Business and Entrepreneurship. Welcome, Dean. You're on mute. There you go.
There we go. Now we're unmuted.
Yeah.
My wife would tell you I'm better muted than unmuted, but anyway. So.
No, you're good. You're good.
Well, thank you for the invitation to join today. And if it's okay, you know, the thing I've learned after 26 years as a faculty member, that being the absent-minded professor added to the dean dementia part, I forget what I'm going to say from time to time. So I put together a couple of slides. Is it okay to share those?
Yes, of course.
All right, let me put those up.
We love your background, by the way.
Thank you. They put it behind us as a little banner, and the students love it when they come see it too. I just love it.
Yes, it makes it more, it has that honor to it that you know you're part of that college, and it makes you, it has that sense of belonging. You're part of the bigger picture.
That's what we're hoping for.
Yes.
And we are part of a family. So, and can you guys see that okay?
Yes.
Okay, I'm not going to put it in presentation mode because I can't see your faces if I do. And so I like to see everybody's faces. So, but again, thank you for having me today. And I just wanted to give you guys a little bit of an update of what we have going on in the college and some of the initiatives that we have going on, and then leave plenty of time if you have Q&A at the end of it. I know Noellen's on here, so there'll be lots of Q&A, so I know that. And I have a story to share on her, so she's going to hide later when I get started. But I did want to share some of our points of pride. So we had a really good year this past year, and I kind of wanted to brag on our folks. We call it the RCV Kobe family. And we try to treat each other like family members with respect, and we try to achieve a common mission. And I think it's starting to show in the results that we've had. And this past year, we had a successful AACSB maintenance of accreditation. So we've got a 5-year cycle, no immediate concerns. So that's good news, because that means we can kind of do what we want to do and push forward over the next 5 years without having to address deficiencies. So that was a great result. A lot of hard work that went into it. And a lot of our staff folks were critical to that, because, you know, we are sometimes as faculty, we can be the prima donnas and we think we've got it all, but we know that the people that have to get everything put together are doing it in the background. And that was a direct result of what our staff were doing. Other thing I want to share is we have the Center for Innovation and Commercialization in Weslaco. And we are one of the Blackstone Launchpad partners. So it's the UT system, the University of California system, and the SUNY system in New York that they support. And we've got a great team there that's been promoting that. They've gone from Lori Simmons, who's the director, was a sort of a staff of 1 for quite a while. Now we're up to a staff of 6 there. And this past year during the competition, we had Health AI came through. They gave a great pitch. Just a great concept of marrying health and artificial intelligence. They went through to the nationals, and they were one of the top 4 national award winners that came from the Valley. And we were the only Texas school in the final 4. And so I think that's a great representation for UTRGV and what we're doing. So I was really thrilled with that. Our Adopt a Startup program that Sylvia Robles heads up down in Brownsville was selected as a best practice in business education this past year. I will pass along, Sylvia is part of the UTRG family as well as the RCV Kobe family. She's fighting cancer right now, and she's asked for all thoughts and prayers. So if you will please keep her in your thoughts and prayers, we would appreciate it. Our college and Enactus won the inaugural small business, our Southern Business Dean's Social Impact Award. For those of you who know Maria Leonard, she's just like a ball of energy on campus, and she mobilizes everyone and everything. And so we were selected for our social impact for all the activities that Enactus does. And I think when the judges met and the other business deans saw that what was going on, they're like, how do you possibly do that? And, you know, the answer was you find great people, you give them the resources they need, and then you get out of their way and let them succeed. And that's exactly what Maria in the Enactus chapter did. And so they represented us very well there. We were one of 24 schools in the world. So there are about, 800 accredited business schools throughout the world. 24 were selected for innovations that inspire. So these are things that should inspire every business school to do the same things. Again, this is Maria Leonard and Enactus. Some of our student orgs did the SOAR project, which is working with autistic young adults to bring them into professional development opportunities so that they can enter the workforce. And they were so impressed with what we did, and we got to highlight that on the national stage this year. And it made me so proud of our college and our university. Giorgio Gotti was named the CPA, Texas CPA Educator of the Year. So of all the universities in Texas, Giorgio Gotti, our new director, was named the top educator for the state. That was a huge thing for us. We got a big win stealing him from UTEP. He is a fantastic director, and he's hit the ground running in his first year. On the faculty side, we've doubled our citation impact count, which from the faculty perspective, it's the impact of our research and it's gaining ground. And so the rest of the business schools in the country see us as a emerging research university. We placed our first PhD student in a tenure track position at an R1 institution this past year. That is huge for us. We placed Kelvin King at Syracuse University. So now we're on the map as placing our doctoral students at some of the top universities in the country. That was huge. And also with the growth we've had, we moved
everybody's just socializing.
And we will socialize. We moved into the top 100 business schools in the country because of the growth we've experienced the last 2 or 3 years. So those are just some of the things I wanted to bring out that have happened just over the last year. Very quickly, just some updates. So some things that you may or may not have heard and to be aware of. Over the last 2 years, we passed a new strategic plan that's rolling out this fall, actually. It's a 6-year plan with some very aggressive metrics that's supposed to move us up, elevate us. It's all about achieving R1 status, furthering our social impact, but at the center of everything, and we have made this very clear, is our students and their success. So that is the center of our strategic plan and will be. But we also redid our performance evaluation process, our promotion and tenure criteria, merit criteria, and new faculty workload policy. So we've done a lot of heavy lifting over the last year. And I know a lot of the other colleges are either in the process or have recently completed that. So I know that a lot of colleagues out here are going, yeah, we're there, or we've been there. The other bit of news that, and this just came out last week, we've reorganized the Dean's office. And part of this was from recommendations from our peer review team, our AACSB team. And part of this was just where we wanted to head, but we took our 2 associate deans and we split them into 3 associate deans. And we added a new position. The associate dean for undergraduate studies didn't really change. That's going to remain as it is. Many of you know Linda Matthews, who served in that role for several years. Well, Linda is moving into a new position for our Director of Sustainability and Social Impact. That's something that she's very passionate about. We're very fortunate to have her there. So Gerald Hughes is coming back to his old job as the Associate Dean for Undergraduate Studies. So any of you who work with assessment or anything like that will be hearing a lot from Gerald. We split our Associate Dean for Graduate Programs and Research into 2 different Associate Deans because basically we had grown so far so fast that our research enterprise and our doctoral program really became too much. So we kind of split those 2 out. But we also added faculty success to the part of the research dean. So the Associate Dean for Graduate Professional Programs will be Salvador Contreras. He just made full professor in economics, and he's very anxious to get started. This is his first administrative position. We met the other day and he said, I know what it's like to drink water from a fire hose now. And so, but he's hit the ground running. Michael Abebe is taking over for research and faculty. He was our PhD director and headed up our PhD project, which is to serve our underserved minority PhD students. So he has a lot of experience there. And I mentioned earlier that Linda is taking over sustainability and social impact. It's a new position, and we think we're one of the leaders in the country in this area, and she will be leading those efforts. But one of the things that I'm very, very excited about is something we're rolling out called the Student's Voice that will report up through the Dean's office. And that's the VACR Office of Inclusion and Center for Engagement. It's a one-stop shop for student success where we're partnering with the Office of Student Success. So our hope is, and Noellen, you can come and wave at everybody since you're our voice representative. But the whole idea is that the students can come in and find success for whatever they need in that office. And I've seen this work at other institutions work well. Retention rates at one institution where we did something similar went up 13 percentage points in 2 years. And it's just making the students feel like they have a home in RCV Cobie, just like we talked about before, the RCV Cobie family that applies to our students as well. So we're very excited about that. So a couple of other things, and then I will turn it back over. But the enrollment trend, we had a pandemic surge. And so master's enrollments in business schools and especially MBA enrollments tend to be counter-cyclical. So when there are slow economic times, people tend to go back to grad school and business. And that's what we saw. And we saw a huge jump in our graduate enrollment. And you can see the graphs for the last 3 years. Well, that has ended. It's going back down. And now we're getting back to sort of a new normal. Undergraduate enrollment has continued to climb, but I think it's kind of stabilized. The other thing we did, though, is we right-sized our PhD program. We said we wanted to emphasize quality over quantity. We had one of the largest programs in the country, and we wanted to have one of the best programs in the country. So we've actually intentionally downsized the doctoral program. We want to have 10 graduates a year, so we want to have about 40 students, so we've almost reached our right size. The other thing is over the last 3 years, we've moved from the 4th largest academic college at UTRGV to the 2nd largest. So we've had a lot of growth the last few years, and we're managing that growth as best we can. Just a couple of things to mention, because I think this impacts, you guys are part of this workforce that we have in the Valley. In fact, UTRGV is the biggest part of the workforce. And so many of you have taken classes or are enrolled in programs in the college. So I just wanted to highlight some of the programs that we have. Want to really mention that we have graduate scholarships available. So if you guys are thinking about taking some classes in one of our programs, we have some scholarships available. Take advantage of those. What we're going to roll out, and I know Nicole has been instrumental in what we've done in human resource management. We're going to roll out an MS in human resource management, we hope within the next year. Marco Garza has taken the lead on that. I think it's a program that we need to serve the workforce. I think it would serve the university very well. We're looking at a STEAM MBA or something that integrates the STEAM disciplines, science, technology, engineering, arts, and mathematics with what we're doing in business. So we think that those are integral components to be successful in a career path in STEAM or in business. So we're looking at creating a program there. Peter Magnuson is heading that up. He's our new chair of marketing that we stole away from the University of Alabama, and they're working on that. We're talking about a master's in finance and a master's in digital marketing as well. So you may see or hear about some of these things. So I wanted to go ahead and mention those if you guys were interested. And again, we would love to have you as our students in the college. And just lastly, this is about our staff. And so I wanted to mention some of the things we're doing with our staff and trying to show more appreciation. Quite honestly, when I got here, I felt that our staff were underappreciated. I still think that they're underappreciated relative to the contributions they make. And we're trying to address that in our college at least. Doing that through active listening. You know, staff actually have some great ideas if you'll listen to them. And so we've been listening and actually implementing some of the things, some of the suggestions we've gotten. Academic advising has been one of those areas. During the pandemic, we found out that you could actually be more efficient with your remote advising. And that was something that we weren't really thinking about, but we listened to our staff when they mentioned this. And so that's something that we've implemented. And again, I think that's something that we could do more of is to listen to our staff because they're on the front lines with with everybody every day. We've actually carved off part of our budget for staff development. So last year we put in a $10,000 staff development budget. This coming year, we've doubled it to $20,000 so that if we have staff who want to attend conferences and learn about best practices, we can support that. So this last year, we sent our graduate coordinator to a conference and she came back with some great ideas. We want to see more of that happening. We're trying to do team building. So this picture is actually from our staff retreat from a couple of months ago. Now, this is one where I have to tell you a couple of stories. First of all, none of us are going to get our tour cards for golf after going to Top Golf where we were. Let's just say it's safe to say that no golf scholarships will be handed out to anyone in this picture. But one of your staff senators was just she gave us a story to talk about forever. So we're splitting up into teams to hit the ball on the Top Golf and play some games with it. Noellen shows up and she's wearing, they had to be 12-inch heels that she's wearing to Top Golf to hit a golf ball. And I'm like, okay, Noellen, you're wearing heels for golf. And they're bright orange. I mean, they are Vaquero orange too. And so she's lining up to hit the ball and she's going at it. She's going at it. I don't know. After 20 swipes, she probably hit the ball, but she turns around and does her best Dos Equis impersonation. She's like, I may not always play golf, but when I do, I look stylish. So just saying, you can wear high heels and play golf. I'm impressed. But the last thing I would leave it at, just back to a serious note, is I think what we could do in our college, we're trying to do, and what I'd like to see happen at the university is more career progression opportunities for our staff. Because what you don't want to do is invest in your people, invest in your human resources, and then have them hit a wall where they can't advance any further when they have opportunity or should have opportunities. And so that's something I would be thrilled to work with you guys on at any point in time if you're interested. And so with that, that was all I had in my presentation. Hopefully I was within time, and I'll stop sharing the screen and take it from there.
Wow, so many great opportunities that staff is going to have, and especially the students and whatnot. We do have a question, Staff Senator Nicole English.
Hello.
Hey, Nicole.
What a fantastic start for this morning in Staff Senate meeting. I think I've bugged you with this before, and I probably have Dr. Arnie over the last, I don't know, 5 years or so, but what's happening on the PhD front to do this part-time so employees can actually pursue it? I know on the higher ed side, we have a PhD program that a lot of our employees are pursuing, but I haven't seen this on the business side yet, but I've heard rumors about a DBA. And so I'm just curious if anything is happening in the near future.
Yeah, good question. So giving the short answer here, because it could take forever. The first emphasis was to get the quality of our research PhD program up so that we could place our students better. We've done that. The next step is evaluating the DBA. We put together a committee to evaluate the DBA. The problem we ran into was we don't have enough faculty to offer both the PhD program and a DBA and stay within AACSB guidelines for our faculty. So we don't have enough research active faculty, I should say. So what we will do is, as we continue to add to our research faculty ranks, we'll look at the DBA again. So we have it on the background. Ben Wong did a great job heading up a committee to look at it, to do some peer analysis. We know what we would need to do if we could launch it. The part-time, that's a big debate in business. I would think the better way to go, and this has actually been a plug I've made. So the Master's in Higher Education Administration, I think, should become the part-time PhD program for those who would be interested. I think that's probably the route that will happen. Part-time PhD programs gain a lot of scrutiny from accreditors. So we have to be very, very careful with that. So I would say the chances are much greater of a DBA program happening in the college than a part-time PhD program. And if I didn't answer all your questions, let me know.
Oh, that's great. But do we have a timeline for the DBA?
I think it comes down to, we had looked at launching possibly as early as this fall. We knew when AACSB came through, we actually discussed it with the accreditors. What do you think? They're like, you don't have enough faculty, because you can't do that with your AOP programs and the MBA. Now that the MBA enrollment has gone down a little bit, it gives us a little bit more flexibility. I would say, Nicole, though, to be honest, it would be 2 to 3 years minimum before we could ramp up enough to get a DBA program staff that would meet accreditation standards.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Great question, Nicole. Does anyone have any other questions? I know, Dean, personally on the side, and it's interesting how you actually portrayed those graphs of the student enrollment, the trends. I actually came across an article in Forbes magazine where the class of 2022 and class of 2023, the classes like top majors or prospective majors are business is actually one of them. And I think that has a lot to do with the fact that pandemic has happened because everyone wanted to be an entrepreneurship, you know, go into that field. And especially at TikTok, let's everyone wanted to go into TikTok as well. And so everyone just like, hey, let's see how we can be out there. And so I thought that was interesting. I know you didn't fully display that graph for this upcoming semester academic year, but I thought that was interesting, like the national part of it.
Yeah, actually, I think nursing and business are the two big ones that are driving enrollment. We were sort of, again, we were counter-cyclical, both undergraduate and graduate. So undergraduate and graduate enrollment are declining throughout the country. Graduate's been up slightly. Now it's kind of balancing out. And we've been bucking the trend, and I think we're starting to level out now. But yeah, I think what you're going to see happen, and what I hope happens, is I hope we start breaking down these silos where it's business, it's health, it's engineering, and we start talking about how we address the problems of society by combining our backgrounds, because engineers can learn from business people from engineers, nurses, and everybody else. I'm hopeful. There are a group of us that are really pushing for that, and I hope we get there one day.
Well, it will take a lot of work, but that's why we're here together, you know, making sure we're informed, because I think having this, like you're presenting over the college, I believe not a lot of us would have known about the great opportunities or the investment that you're putting into this. And so it's great to know how we can be that support to your college as well and to our students. So
we're here.
Yeah. Does anyone have any questions they're eager to ask?
No, Ellen's not even.
No, Ellen is laughing, yes.
No, I'm here. Thank you so much, Dean, for the work that you do and being part of your team. I know everybody wants to be a part of your team, but I guess we'll just have to ask them if they can play golf in heels as well as I do.
That's right. If they can't, that is the #1 criteria. If you can't, that's sorry.
I've seen those heels. I was like, those are amazingly orange, bright orange. So I know what you're talking about.
I wish I had taken a picture of just the hills and the golf swing. I just wish I had.
Indeed. All right. Well, thank you so much, Dean Lansdale. We truly appreciate all the information that you have provided us and taking the time to actually present to staff in general. We look forward to many great opportunities that, you know, your college is coming up with and, you know, leading towards that the future. So, and especially appreciating our staff, we do have that makes a very big difference. I know that everyone's part of the big picture. And so thank you for that. We do.
Thank you again for the invitation. I appreciated being here, guys.
Yes.
All right. Thank you. Bye-bye.
All right. And speaking of opportunities, we do have as our next guest speaker, we are pleased to have Dr. Fred Guerra, Dr. Marco Garza, and Ms. Nicole English to talk about the requirements and eligibility of our new Master's in Higher Education Administration program launching this fall. Dr. Guerra? I think I saw him here.
There you go.
There you go.
Thank you for inviting us for this Zoom session. Nicole, I think you're going to be able to start with the presentation for the.
Yes. Can you all see it already?
Yes, it's coming. You're showing it, Nicole.
It's up.
Yes.
Is it up? Okay. Just wanted to make sure.
Yeah.
Is it okay to keep it up like that, or do you want it in presentation mode?
Whatever is easier for you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I think if we can read everything, I'll just leave it as is.
Sure. If it's okay, Fred, I'll kick us off and then I'll pass it over to you. So good. Well, thanks for having us. Just wanted to. What a great segue. So last few slides and some of the comments Dr. Nail said. He talked about the master's program. He talked about, and then more importantly, I think he also, trust me, we didn't plan it this way, but what a wonderful segue. He talked about investment in terms of developing of staff and leaders and whatnot. Many times we forget, as an institution, we are one of the largest employers in South Texas. And many times we forget we're in the business of education ourselves, right? So those two combined things, combined with actually higher ed is changing. Higher ed has officially changed. There hasn't been this type of movement in major industries in modern society in many years. So things are accelerating. And so part of that, higher ed has been going through quite a bit of change, but with this pandemic and this new normal has accelerated and brought to the surface the need for organizations, not just higher ed, but organizations to take an intentional approach on developing themselves. And so we had been trying for some time now to put accelerate and evolve our development programs into a more formalized way, and then also open up the type of leadership programs. Masters is one. We're looking at redeveloping and redefining leadership development in UTRGV, and this just results in one of them. And so we bring to you, after a lot of years of working, and we've moved through the tire kicking stage, and now it's real. So now we've transitioned into, we're at the precipice of launching this program. A little bit, as we were designing it, there's so many different factors and there's so many different programs out there. People have choices, but many times you have, in a leadership development program, you have either a master's, you go get a master's, and the challenge with a master's is you're typically, and it's good, you're interacting with people at different organizations, at different walks of life, and different stages of life in their individual career. The challenge is you bring those ideas back where you back in your own world. It's a little harder to implement those things that you've learned because those individuals don't work in your organization. Inversely, if you have a leadership development program, typically those don't end in the participants completing the program and earning a master's degree. Number three, many times there's process improvements, programs within an organization that they engage in, and those don't lead in either a master's. So we're putting all of this together, and it's a leadership development program. You can look at it in multiple ways. It's a master's program that leads towards some leadership development initiatives being implemented by the students, or you can look at it the other direction of a leadership development program series that ends in a master's program. Very rarely, if not, you'd be hard pressed to find those in the country that you find that. Well, we've brought that. So we're in a unique opportunity and need in our institution to bring a program like this. And so just a lot of people involved in this. And so the three of us are just a small group of a representative planning team that are on this call, that are working behind the scenes, in front of the scenes at different levels of this program to bring it to this place. There's a lot of work still to be done, but we're really excited about the opportunity to bring this timely program to a wonderful workforce in us, UTRGV. So with that, I'm gonna pass over to Fred, and we'll start to transition to talk about the programs, the classes, and then Nicole will talk a little bit about the mechanics and the application process and timelines there. So Fred.
Thank you, Doc. Well, I'm Fred Guerra. I'm an associate professor, and I serve as the chair of the Department of Organization and School Leadership. And this is where this new master's degree is going to be housed. It'll be in our department here in the College of Ed. And as been mentioned, this is an exciting time for UTRGV. The university is providing this awesome opportunity, leadership opportunity, to promote professional career growth and training for you. And you are the new generation, the future generation of our leaders for this university. So this is a perfect opportunity for you to jump into this particular area to eventually hopefully lead to a doctoral degree, because within our department as well, we offer an EDD in higher ed educational leadership. So overall, great opportunity. Who's controlling the slides there? So this particular program is going to be launched in Fall Mod 2. And so you have the first day of classes October 26th here. And it's asynchronous, fully online. It's there'll be close to 40 slots. It says 50 here, but we're going to get 40 to 50 people involved in the first cohort. And 10 courses, again, 30 hours. And this is also going to bring up some opportunities to meet some of our current administration, top-level administrators here. In your coursework, just to give you a little bit of understanding, in your coursework, you will not only learn about theory and research, but you're going to get a real-world application to what you're learning. You will also be expected to attend mandatory supplemental sessions with guest lectures and instructors. So for example, Dr. Bailey, he'll be teaching our budget and finance in higher ed class. Dr. Jonica Charlton will also be teaching. Dr. Maggie Nojosa will be teaching the courses in student affairs. Our chief compliance officer, our attorney, Samantha Allen, she'll be teaching a course in organizational ethics. So you're going to be getting top administrators for this university involved as well. Next slide. So here's basically an overall view of the program. Again, Masters of Arts in Higher Ed Administration. Preparation of the students focuses on a comprehensive social justice oriented preparation of leaders for the entry of advancement in higher ed and student affairs. It'll integrate the online-based and field-based learning because there is a practicum, there's a capstone course, there's a practicum course at the end where you'll be exposed to different departments and areas of the university. And over here, it goes back to the 30 hours, as I mentioned, an accelerated online program. And here are some of the areas, the last bullet there is showing some of the areas where you're going to be focusing within the college, within the university. You're going to be going to reach out to these particular areas. So a lot of the questions I've been getting are basically the admission requirements. So you do need to have a bachelor's degree. You need GPA, an undergrad GPA of 3.0 is preferred, but I'm going to evaluate everyone's application on a holistic view. So if you just, well, I've got a 2.8, 2.9, what should I do? Apply anyway, okay? We'll be looking at, again, holistically, your experience and what you would bring to the program. And then there are some statements that you have to fill out. You know, why do you want to get into this master's program? You know, how do you feel it would be a benefit? So short answer kind of thing, just it's like a reflective piece as well. So just tell me a little bit about yourself and why you want to do this. And of course, a resume. There's a resume that you need to submit as well. And over here on the other side of the screen, you'll see these are the required courses. Again, 10 courses. And if you look at the titles, there is a research course that will be given. Ethics, student development, student affairs. Here's the budgeting course. Critical issues in higher ed. Access and equity in higher ed. And then we have a strategic talent development in higher ed and organizational theory in higher ed. And of course, the practicum being the last of the courses there for you. And here is the course sequence. Again, beginning fall, mod 2 and it's in a 7-week format. And so every module, you'll be taking 2 courses. So you'll begin fall of 2022, and you will be graduating and finishing summer of 2023.
Okay, anything else, Dr. Guerra, you want to add about the program before I move to the eligibility
No, other than if you have a particular question or you want to see the course descriptions, or if you want to get more specific into the coursework, please send me an email. I'll be more than happy. I'll go visit you at your office and we can have a discussion. I can answer any questions that you have.
Well, thank you, Dr. Guerra. And what we, I guess, jumped over here in the beginning, and I want to just point it out again, is the program is still pending approval from the Texas Higher Education Coordinating Board. So we are planning to start module 2, right? And that's our plan, and everyone tells us it's going to happen, right? But the applications are not open yet for that specific reason, because we're still waiting for that approval, and it can happen any day now, hopefully. But if you're looking for an apply here sign, that's not online yet, because we cannot accept applications until we get that final approval. So just wanted to put that out there and highlight that this first cohort, the first 50 spots, will be at no cost to employees and will be strictly employees. So important, I think, that we mentioned that as well, that it will be fully funded, right? It's different than the employee tuition assistance, where you get paid, you know, we get up to 9 credit hours. So it is different than tuition assistance. This program is fully funded, so you wouldn't have to pay for tuition. In regards to eligibility, because this is a fully funded program, it's another master's and you get a master's degree at the end, but because this is fully funded, there is some eligibility criteria, and the selection might look a little different than in a regular graduate program. For that reason, I want to go over some of the steps that will be different in this process specifically, go over that and let you know. And again, like what Dr. Guerra mentioned, if you have any additional questions, feel free to ask. You can put them in the chat and we'll have some time to answer some questions, hopefully. And if not, the ones that were unanswered, I'll get back to you, or you can just message me on Teams. I'll be happy to answer questions about eligibility as well. So once we get that approval that we're all waiting for, you will be able to submit an application online. I put the link to the website on the first page, and the website is already up. So once I'm done talking, I'm going to put the link, or I'm going to put the link of the website in the chat as well. So you can look at the website and all the information is there as well. On that website, there's also an inquiry form. So we don't have an application on there yet, but you can go in, and if you're interested to learn more and want to be the first ones to know once the applications are up and live, fill out that inquiry form with your info, and we'll send you an email once the application is live. So once this the approval is in, you will fill out an application form that's on DocuSign. We'll go over that. The form will be routed to your supervisor for approval. So yes, you will need your supervisor's support. And the supervisor also has to answer a few questions there. The form will then be submitted to HR, and we'll do an initial eligibility screening. We'll go over that. The list of eligible employees will be shared with the faculty review committee after we have also shared it with your division leads. So once we have all the applications in, we screen for eligibility, we share it and let your division leads know. It's like, here are the employees that were submitted or showed interest and applied from your division. And we'll send those lists over to a faculty review committee that Dr. Guerra and Marco Garza are on as well. And then they will select 50 applicants. So it's not an HR where we make this final selection. We're just here to do the initial screening to make sure that everyone meets those initial eligibility requirements. And then you will be notified if you're one of the selected ones. This looks like a long process. However, we are on a time crunch. We don't have a lot of time. We're planning to start this end of October, right? And we still need to apply and screen. And so just be ready that once the applications are up, got to be quick, because we probably won't give you a lot of time to fill out those applications. I'm going to give you some insider tips as to how you can prepare for it. But once the applications are up, get the process started, fill everything out, because we're all going to have to work quickly through this to get this started on time. So I'm sure if you haven't heard about those application, the eligibility criteria yet, there is a form. It's going to be on DocuSign, so no PDFs, no printing. It's all, you know, online. You fill out the DocuSign application with your general basic information, title, classification, the department, your division, employee ID, years you have been with UTRGV. Doesn't have to be exact. So it doesn't have to be 5 years and 112 days. You can just say 5 years, that's fine. And the reason we're asking is because one of the eligibility criteria is that you've been with UTRGV for 2 years. So that's important. Let me see if I have that here. So 2 years of consecutive full-time service with UTRGV. You have to be a full-time employee, and that could be a faculty or a staff role. In good standing, this is where the HR screening also comes in, that we don't have a disciplinary action on file currently for you. You have a satisfactory appraisal on file. You're in compliance with all mandated training. So if you've gotten that IT security training, I think that's part of the mandated training. So time to get that IT security training done. We're also evaluating leadership potential. So you don't have to be in a current supervisory role. We are asking if you are, but if you are not, that's fine, as long as you can show that and your supervisor supports and says that you have potential to lead and have shown it in projects before, or maybe with a student employee in the past. And you need your supervisor support for in order to be eligible as well. So you fill all this out. You also fill out your undergrad, and if you went to grad school already, or where you went to grad school, and your GPA, it's an approximate GPA. You know, you're gonna have to submit your transcript anyways. It's just for us to check, you know, what was your GPA. You don't have to go back if your undergrad was a few years ago, but just give us your best estimate of what your GPA was. We're double checking with your transcript anyways. We are confirming, you confirmed that you meet your eligibility. So what I just mentioned, you're just gonna do the check boxes. Yes, you do. We are also asking your supervisory status. Again, this is not mandatory that you're supervising currently. Please upload your most current resume. And then there's 4 essay questions that you need to answer. All those fields are required. So please fill everything out and don't forget to attach your resume as well. We recommend that you have this conversation with your supervisor already. Let them know if you're interested. So you can get ready, your supervisor can get ready. If there's any discrepancies, it's better to discuss this now than after you put in all the work. So please have those conversations with your supervisor. I can share those questions with you. I don't want to go over all those questions right now because of the time, but here are the 4 questions that will be asked on the form, on the application form. Can copy and paste them and put them in the chat so you have them there as well. So here are the 4 questions we ask you. Again, you need to fill those out. All fields are required. And someone asked, how much space do I have, right? If I already start drafting, it's about half a page, 300 words or so. So we don't want 5 pages per question, because Fred and Marco have to read all of those, and we expect a lot of applications. So be concise and bring your point across in half a page per question or so. As I mentioned, once you submit your part of the form, it will be routed to your supervisor. The supervisor will be asked if they support your application. They will be asked to rate your overall leadership potential. We will also ask them to share a few examples of when and how you displayed high potential as a leader, and how would the employee benefit from this program? How would this benefit the department and UTRGV in general? Like, why this employee, right? Why should we pick your employee? Again, if you're in a supervisory role, please discuss those things with your employees. Have a conversation about them. Right? We would hate for it to be a surprise and the employee thinks, oh, all is great. And the supervisor's like, nope, don't support this, right? So please have conversations with your employees. If you're in a supervisory role, have those conversations. Hey, how can this benefit us? How can this benefit you? And have those conversations. And then the supervisor signs it and submits it. And once it's submitted, it goes directly to HR, where we'll do the eligibility screening. There will be a strict deadline. Again, I don't know that deadline yet because we don't know when we get the approval, but I do not foresee this being open more than 2 weeks. So it will be a quick turnaround. So you can get everything ready if you're interested already. So you only have to start the process and submit everything once it's online. We can accept late submissions for any reason, just because we're on such a time crunch. An important note, yes, we mentioned it's a completely fully funded program. You don't have to pay tuition. There will be books and stuff like in any other regular program, but the tuition and fees will be covered. For that reason, and if you've been familiar with tuition, with a tuition assistance program, something similar will apply here. And the IRS is actually gonna tax you for some of the money because we're giving you a free degree, and we will exceed the limit that the IRS has put aside, allows for educational assistance, and the limit is $5,000, a little bit over $5,000. A full master's degree costs more than $5,000, right? So there will be some tax implications for you. And we just want to put this all out there because there have been surprises in the past on tuition assistance, and we don't want this to happen. So if you're interested, how will this specifically affect my case and my payroll, my paycheck? Please reach out to tax compliance and they can walk you through it, but just be aware that there will be some tax implications because of this program. If you're accepted, just be aware of it. I think we have Stephanie Osuna on the call as well, who was part of the team, and I'll show her contact information on the last slide. But after you're being selected, you will have to fill out a short, I guess, yes, I accept this from the graduate college. You still have to submit your transcripts, right? Unless you've attended UTRGV, because then we have your transcripts already. But if you have a degree from another institution, then those transcripts will be required, but not before the due date of the application. So we don't have to stress about that. We trust that what you fill out is the accurate information, but we'll double check when your transcripts come in. Graduate College will enroll you in all the courses. As Dr. Guerra mentioned earlier, there is specific courses that the whole cohort will take together. So you cannot pick and choose which class you take when. You have to follow the whole full cohort within a year, and the classes are already, scheduled for you. And then there will be an orientation, a kickoff before we get started. Yeah, and that's pretty much it. Here's our contact information. Stephanie, I saw her on the call, so I think she's here too. You can wave at us if you're here. Here she is. I see that she's here. And here's our contact information if you want to reach out to us. Happy to answer a few questions, Yadira, if we have some time. I'm not sure how we're doing on time.
Absolutely, we do have time. Any questions? Well, I do have a statement. So I'm actually a student within the EDD program. Dr. Guerra had mentioned the doctoral program, and I can definitely advocate that higher administration in this program has been like absolutely amazing. I absolutely love it because of all the, if you, in your current position, you're able to see all the theories and all the amazing like knowledge that you're acquiring through these classes. So the fact that there's a master's, I wish I would have had that opportunity as a master's, but I know for sure, like, I definitely encourage each and one of y'all, if you're interested, to definitely go for it. I know it's an absolutely, and against Dr. Dean did say from RCV Kobe that, higher ed is changing. And so we want to make sure that we are also prepared part of that change as well. All right, does anyone have any questions? And Nicole just posted the essay questions.
Yeah, also I added the link because I got that question privately, but here's also the link to the website. The website is already up and running.
Okay. You go into the school to TSTC to take care of what you need to take care of.
I hear Martha. I haven't heard her in a while.
Martha, can you repeat that again? I'm sorry. Okay, so we do have a question from Rebecca. Will the program always require 2 classes per module?
Well, in order to get out in a timely manner, because you're finishing basically this master's degree, since it's in accelerated mode, that you would finish in 11 months. We're hoping that no one deviates from this. I mean, in case of an emergency, which, no one knows, right? But we would be able to make some sort of arrangements. You need to come by and visit with the department, and we'll, but it's scheduled so that you take 2 per module. That's the way it's been set up. But I mean, for whatever reason, it can happen. We need to that kind of conversation afterwards.
And I added in the chat, once this is open to the public, obviously you can all select how you want to take the classes, but for the first cohort specifically, right, that's just how it was designed. But once it's open to the public, you can decide on your own. You could use tuition assistance and say, I want to take this, I'm really interested in this program, but I want to do this at my own pace. You can just do the 9 credit hours per year and just, take it slowly and still get it funded with tuition assistance.
excuse me, just one last comment. I'm like Yadira, I'm a student in the EDD program as well. And right now I'm ABD, so yes, get that done. It has made a world of difference in my going to work every day, what I do with my employees, working at the university, understanding the other side of the equation better. And I would help and support any of my employees that want to be in this program.
I definitely agree, Glenn.
Yeah.
I mean, of course, there may not be sleep, right? But no, but it is definitely worth it. You definitely acquire all the information, knowledge, and especially like the people that are teaching it. Like, what better else, you know, to teach what's actually happening in the system?
Yes.
All right. Any questions? Don't be shy, please.
I saw one question in there, and maybe Dr. Guerra, that's for you. Any similar cohort programs in the future for the doctoral degree?
Well, we're hoping that doctoral degree, but as far as other master's courses being developed, it's been brought up to our attention that since we are the Department of Organization and School Leadership, that we would offer create another master's degree in organization. But no, we kind of figured that once we prepare you through in this particular program, that it would just be a continuation. And if you want to get that EDD, you can funnel right in through our doctoral program.
Carlos, I think I saw that your light went out. I don't mean to call you out. Carlos Rios, I don't know if you wanted to say something. Okay, thank you. He's on mute. We do have another question.
Yes, I saw the other question. We've received that question quite a bit. So there is this requirement of 2 years of full-time work with UTRGV, and that has to be consecutive full-time. We can, for those 2 years, we unfortunately cannot accept or add any part-time. So if a year ago you were still a graduate student working part-time and now you have 1 full-time year, then unfortunately you won't be eligible at this point. Maybe there's future cohorts or once it's open to the public, but at this point we're really looking for employees that have been with UTRGV for 2 years in the full-time employment. And that day will be by the time the applications are due, which, you know, we don't know when that's going to be, but it's going to be in the next few weeks. So if you're still a few months out, that's probably not going to happen. If, you know, you hit your 2 years on August 30th or so, then, you know, that might work. But if you're still a few months out, then it will not be for this cohort.
Thank you for sharing that, Nicole. We also have another question. Beside the 2+ years, and this is from Ms. Maria Carmona Alonso, beside the 2+ years of employment with UTRGV, will there be an exit requirement after completing the degree? Example, staying with the university for X amount of years afterwards.
Not on paper, but we do hope that employees are staying with us, and specifically because they're getting UTRGV knowledge, you know, they're learning from us and about UTRGV, specifically projects will be related to UTRGV. And Dr. Bailey always says, you know, this could be our leadership pipeline, you know, and so hoping that, and so when we look at succession planning, we can look at, okay, who has gone through this program? And so hopefully that means employees are going to stay, but on paper, there's not going to be a requirement that you have to stay after you complete it, but that's our goal, right? And our hope that employees are staying long-term, getting that opportunity here.
Absolutely. All right. Well, if y'all do have any more questions, again, you can all feel free to email these individuals. Amazing have come together and work to come together to get this program started. Thank you all so much. And thank you to my classmates. I know Carlos, Glenn, and I don't know who else is here, but we can definitely advocate that the higher ed is definitely a great opportunity for all of us. And you get to absolutely learn about everything about higher ed. Not everything, but enough to get you to understand the system and whatnot much better. And hopefully become leaders, the next generation of leaders as well. All right. Thank you all so much.
Thanks for having us.
Yes. And I actually just had class with Dr. Guerra this summer. So, so a lot of discussion about that. And Dr. Guerra went ahead and put his email there in case you all do have any other questions. Thank you, Dr. Guerra. And thank you, Dr. Garza. And
thank you.
Nicole. All right. All right. So great opportunities, great visions that we have for our university and our staff. So who's ready to hear about UTRGV athletics? So we have Vince and Rogelio to talk about our academic year for athletics. You can't hear me?
I'm usually not muted.
You're not muted now, so we can all hear you.
Thank you, Yadira. My name is Vince Volpe. I serve as our Deputy Director of Athletics. I've been with the university now a little over 7 years, just started my 8th year this summer, and excited to provide you an update, a high-level update on the year that concluded. And believe it or not, it's the 2022-2023 academic year is kicking off, and we've already got competitions starting this week and next week. We've got Saturday, we've got soccer, men's soccer with an exhibition match actually in Brownsville, volleyball coming on the heels of that. So if I can, I'm going to try to share my screen here and pull up a little PowerPoint presentation we can run through briefly. Let me see if I can full screen this. Can everybody see that okay?
We can see that. I think you would need to go, I know there's a bottom version, or actually, let me see if I'm gonna make an annotation on your screen. So that way you won't freak out. Like, what's that mark? I know. There you go.
Is that better?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I'm going to try to run through this. Let me minimize everybody's headshots here. Uh-oh. There's a question.
I'm excited.
Somebody has a question. Okay, let me just do a quick highlight for us from FY22 that's wrapping up. Really proud of our student athletes and our coaches. As you guys know, we have 16 sports all competing at the Division I level in the Western Athletic Conference, which spans from Texas to New Mexico to Arizona to California and all the way up to Seattle, almost one border to the other. We have approximately 280 student athletes, but what we're really proud of is approximately 20% of them are from the Rio Grande Valley across all 16 of our sports. Really proud to represent the Valley in that regard. And as you guys have probably heard the last few years, our tagline is to rally the Valley. And you'll see that here throughout this presentation. Proud of our student athletes. Here's almost a 3.3 student athlete department GPA across all 16 of our sports. A 92% graduation success rate. And so these, at the end of the day, we are here to educate our student athletes, and these stats here we are really, really proud of. Wanted to highlight a few of the key teams for you, all with GPAs over 3.5. Women's tennis, 3.62, men's golf, men's soccer, volleyball. These are all programs that are functioning not just at a high level on the field or the court, but of course in the classroom as well. Another highlight for us is our community service. This is across all of our sports and all of our student athletes, almost 2,500 in community service hours. Now, how does that rank? At the bottom there, you can see we were ranked 8th in the country across all of NCAA in 21-22. So across all of the NCAA means Division I, Division II, Division III. So that represents, there's about 360 Division I schools. But when you go across Division II and Division III, you're talking now over 1,800 NCAA institutions. We were 8th in the country. So our kids take pride in the Valley and are consistently in the Valley with community service. As I mentioned, rallying the Valley, right? That's what our job is in athletics. We want folks viewing UTRGV through the lens of athletics. And in a lot of cases, alumni are coming back to campus to our games. Certainly outside of the Valley, our 5 letters landing on streaming services and regional and national TV only brings recognition to not just the university, but the Valley in general. And a few highlights here in that regard. We had nearly 40,000 people come through our baseball stadium in the spring. Obviously, a lot of us saw the Texas game. First time the University of Texas has come to the Valley in 51 years in baseball. Had almost a little over 6,400 people at that game. And then what does that mean from a revenue standpoint? And I wanted to share some of these revenue categories with our staff just to show you the tremendous revenue that is on an upswing consistently over the last several fiscal years. Ticket revenue, you can see corporate partnerships, critically important that we engage our business community throughout the Valley. And then the largest number at the bottom, fundraising revenue. Philanthropy continues to be on the rise for the athletic department. So season tickets, specifically for faculty staff, we've put together packages that allow faculty staff to get a 20% discount on basketball season tickets, volleyball season tickets, baseball season tickets, etc. And you'll see here in a future slide, we also have the ability to do that through payroll deduction. A few highlights here on this screen. When you buy a basketball season ticket, you get actually 2 sports and 3 venues. So what do I mean by that? 2 sports. So our basketball season ticket is combined men's and women's basketball, and they play in 3 venues. The majority of the games, of course, are on campus here at the field house. However, we have a handful of games, 2 to 4 annually at Bert Ogden Arena. And we have a couple of games, usually 2 or 3 on the island at the South Padre Island Convention Center. One thing to highlight here as well is if you can't make every game, obviously that's 30 plus basketball games when we're talking specifically basketball. We have a charitable seat program that you can let our ticket staff know, hey, I won't be able to make the game later this week, or I won't be able to make these 3 or 4 games this month, whatever the case. And we have a mechanism that you can turn your seats back into us, letting us know you won't be able to make it. And then we turn around and provide your season tickets, your seats, to underprivileged youth throughout the Rio Grande Valley. So they can come to, in this case, basketball games free of charge and be able to experience Division I basketball, which the closest Division I school from a geographic standpoint is either in San Antonio or Houston. So a lot of the charities that we've partnered with, those youth won't have the ability to see Division I athletics outside of the Valley. They're not going to Houston or San Antonio. And then also, if you sign up for season tickets fairly quickly by September 1st, you'll have we provide you a popcorn card, I'll call it, with the ability to come to each of our games and get a free box of popcorn for every game that you attend. I know Rebecca Sepulveda truly enjoys that free popcorn. I see her and her mom with it quite often. Another highlight is our marketing campaign, both on campus and throughout the Valley. So this was launched last summer and is continuing this summer all the way through March 1st of 2023. And you'll see this, you'll see prominent people on campus, professors, deans, Dr. Bailey's leadership team and cabinet, as well as prominent figures throughout the Rio Grande Valley in commercials, on billboards up and down I-2, in social life, in the Monitor. So this is a true marketing campaign that I'll say is peer-to-peer influencing, for lack of a better way to put it. So simple clicking options as you consider faculty staff season tickets. You can go directly to our website, goutrgv.com. There is a tickets tab, which will take you directly to our ticketing software. And then there is a link, whether it's basketball, volleyball, baseball, all of those links are online and accessible and able to be accessed with a 20% discount for faculty staff. And if you'd like to do payroll deduct, I just wanted an easy breakdown for you. One volleyball season ticket, the 20% off dollar amount is $40. That's $3.33 a month through payroll deduct. Same equation for basketball, 34 games, $120 for one basketball season ticket, $10 through payroll deduct, obviously $10 a month. Baseball, we have 32 games, it's $100, $8.33 a month through payroll deduct. Our Junior Vaqueros Club is a unique opportunity for kids under the age of 16 or under to be able to access season tickets and come to our games at a deeply discounted rate. Wanted to share with you some of our team here in athletics. Seth Jones, Raela Rodriguez, and Eddie Galvan. They are in our ticket operations on a daily basis. Of course, servicing our current season ticket holders, but always growing our base. I heard about the pipeline mentioning in the grad school, the pipeline to the doctoral program. Well, for us, season tickets is a pipeline in two directions: a pipeline to the general public of the Rio Grande Valley, but also a pipeline to our department and the university. We view athletics, the role of athletics for us is almost like the analogy of a front porch of the house. It's most visible from the exterior, but once you get to the front porch and you come in the house, obviously there is a big, vast university that has a lot going on, and our role is to excite the general public, our alumni base, bring them to the front porch, and ultimately expose them to the rest of the house, which is critically important. Just a few of our social media outlets. Of course, we're on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, all that stuff. I put in here our direct line to our tickets team. And that is pretty much all I had for our group here this morning. Certainly willing to answer any questions anybody might have. Yes, I see in here that Rebecca does love the popcorn card, and as does Nolin. What questions can I answer for you guys? Happy to help in any way I can.
Vince, may you please show the last slide again? So
sure.
And then we do have a question from Nicole. What are the game times usually for basketball or volleyball? Are they all evening?
Most, yes. Let me pull up that last slide. I think it has the phone number, 665-3747. Most of our games, whether it's basketball or volleyball, are in the evening. We've tried to standardize them at 6:30. In some cases, we aren't able to do that. Maybe we have a doubleheader, men's and women's basketball playing on the same date, or some overlap between sports. Basketball and baseball are competing on the same date, whatever the case. But yes, most of the games are standardized at 6:30. However, there are some weekend afternoon games that could be noon or 2 p.m.
Awesome. Thank you for sharing that. We do have a question from Ms. Patricia Montemayor Garcia. Can you show the payroll deduction once again?
Sure.
Yeah. We're noting down some notes.
So I do have a question based on the dean's story about golfing. You know, that kind of shows you how I feel about sports. But, you know, my family and I did sign up to become season ticket holders. And I'm glad I did because the games are a lot of fun. My children enjoyed it. And my question is that there is an option too, Vince, right? That you can purchase a season ticket for all of the sports if you so choose.
Absolutely. Yeah. That what you're describing, thank you for your testimonial too, because we do love to hear that. We're biased, of course. We're in the trenches with our coaches and our student athletes, and we want them to have a tremendous home field advantage. And that starts with our student body and spreads to our faculty, staff, and then out from there to the community. But yes, what you're describing is what we call our multi-sport pass, which if you wanted to purchase a season ticket for all three of these sports, volleyball, basketball, well, both basketballs and baseball, we have that packaged as well at a discounted rate. Those rates vary. You know, do you want a general admission seat? Do you want a reserved seat? So some of those price points vary, but they're already deeply discounted. Think of that as the Costco model. We're buying in bulk.
Thank you.
Are they in the website?
Yes. Okay. Yeah. So right now that same screenshot I showed you guys there. In fact, here it is right here in the middle. 2022-23 multi-sport package, and then you're clicking through there, and you'll fill out your applicable contact information, etc., and then that'll take you to a checkout screen. And as I mentioned, soccer is just beginning exhibition actually Saturday. But our first volleyball match is against Texas A&M Corpus Christi on the 30th, our first regular season match. So you've still got a couple of weeks if you're buying volleyball season tickets or the multi-sport pass. It is not too late. You haven't missed anything.
I just wanted to
go for it, Melanie.
I just wanted to ask if you all ever post anything on social media promoting this, feel free to tag Staff Senate. I don't know who on your team's in charge of that, but we are willing to reshare anything to promote as well. Or if you want us to work on something, we can do that too. Feel free to send an email. I'll put it in the chat.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Yeah, we have obviously all those social channels I mentioned. And so anytime you guys see anything relative to Rally the Valley or staff related, faculty related, certainly feel free to retweet or anything that we can ever help with. Certainly a two-way street. Happy to help any way we can as well.
Awesome. All right. Are there any other questions? If not, we already know who to contact. Vince, thank you so much for all this information. And we did have quite a few testimonials. So thank you all for sharing that information. I know athletics is a big thing in terms of spirit. And so it's actually something that, it's staff and faculty and students are part, again, once that bigger picture to like promote, like, you know what, our students are going out there and playing for us and competing, and it's the fun of it as well. So
yeah, no question. We're proud to represent the university and in the region, and certainly the future is bright. We're excited. Thank you for your time this morning.
Yes, thank you, Vince.
All right, so we'll move on now and open the floor for public comments and questions.
Okay, so I'll get everybody started. Good morning, everyone. I am extending an invitation on behalf of our Campus Food Security Initiative team. A couple of, well, actually, David Guerra, one of our staff senator, did a cuisine last week. And it was delicious. He made me eat my vegetables, and I don't usually do that. And it was just that good. And so next week we are collaborating with them again. With yours truly, I will be making the very famous Filipino dish called pancit, along with a student. So please come out and join us. It'll be next Wednesday during your lunchtime from 12 to 1. We will be pushing out that information. So stay tuned on our social media pages, and we hope to see you there. Thank you.
Thank you, Noellen. Are there any other public comments or questions?
I can go next.
Yeah, go for it.
Great, thank you. So we would like to share with everybody that we are getting ready to start sharing out information about our Welcome Week. Welcome Week, in case you may not know, is our university's Welcome Back experience, which includes different events for students and university community to interact with fellow vaqueros, participate in campus traditions, and to basically get excited about the start of a new academic year. And so these events will be happening throughout the duration of this month of August. I will be dropping a link to the webpage for Welcome Week. Let me do that right now so that you can see it. At the moment, you will see 2 of the events currently posted, one being UTRGV Day and the other one being Picnic with the President. And we're working on populating the rest of the events that will be taking place as part of Welcome Week. So more to come on the rest of the events, but for now, would want to share with you that specifically Picnic with the President will be taking place on September 7th and 8th. That is really more of an event geared towards students. So just sharing that as a general awareness. But the other event that is for students, staff, and faculty is UTRGV Day. So we want to share a little bit more about UTRGV Day specifically. And so for UTRGV Day, students, staff, and faculty are invited to join us for our university's 7th year anniversary. At this event, we will be having we'll have 4 different locations on that day. They're listed on the webpage. If you click on the posting for UTRGV Day, you'll see the 4 different sites. So we'll be at the Edinburgh at the Ballroom from 8:30 to 10. In McAllen, we'll be at the Rio Bank 5th floor conference room from 11 to 12. In Harlingen, we'll be at the Clinical Education Building from 1 to 2. And in Brownsville, we'll be at Gran Salon from 3 to 4:30. And so again, I know I went through the times quickly, but you'll see them on the webpage. 4 different locations. We'll have a free shirt, a free cupcake, and a free drink. Limit of 1 of each item per person while supplies last. And so we invite you to join us. Please stop by to pick up your free shirt, cupcake, and drink while supplies last. In addition, as part of UTRGV Day, we also want to share with you that we are happy to partner with Sodexo, who will be providing a discount of 20% if you wear UTRGV attire or UTRGV colors, gray and orange, at the following Sodexo locations, these being the Edinburgh Dining Hall and C-Store, and in Brownsville at the Grid C-Store. So if you like to take part of that, again, wear a UTRGV attire, UTRGV colors, gray and orange, and participate in getting that 20% discount at these Sodexo locations. And then in addition to that, the campus store will be offering a 20% off 1 apparel or gift item as part of UTRGV Day. And so you'll see the instructions how to redeem that 20% discount on the webpage. And so for any questions, please feel free to reach out to events@utrgv.edu. You can reach out to Delynn Reese, our lead for Welcome Week. You can reach out to me as well. We're part of a committee that's working on all the events for Welcome Week. And so again, please be on the lookout. You'll see the listing of the events. More of them will be added in the next few days and weeks, but specifically, please save the date for UTRGV Day on August 31st. And we hope to have our staff senators present at the event. So we're going to be having some conversations about that and engaging a few other groups to be part of UTRGV Day and making it a bigger celebration. And so that's what's planned. And again, UTRGV Day is a university-wide celebration. So if there's anything that you can do to help celebrate our university in its seventh anniversary, we invite you to. Again, open to collaborations, feel free to reach out, and we look forward to hearing from you.
Thank you, Karen. And again, this is a wonderful opportunity. It's not only one day, but it's every day UTRGV Day. We just set aside, from our daily task and whatnot, but I definitely encourage you all to attend. And I know sometimes there's times that maybe you're unable to, but even if you're unable to due to whatever the reason is, you can celebrate UTRGV Day every day in your own way. And so this is promoting a sense of unity, because together we can make what UTRGV is and establish that sense of spirit and culture. And so thank you for sharing that, Karen. Are there any further public comments or questions? No? All right, so we would now move on to make a motion to adjourn. Is there a motion to adjourn?
I motion to adjourn.
All right, is there a second?
I second.
All right, is there any debate or discussion? Debate or discussion? Debate or discussion? All those in favor, please state aye in the Zoom chat. All opposed? Y'all want to keep on talking? Y'all want to come together? Any abstentions?
We're good. All right, the meeting's adjourned at 10:28 a.m. Everybody have a really good day.
Yeah, have a great day, everyone.